Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Mic'd Podcast. I'm Mike, a hairdresser of over 20 years. One of the best parts of my job is the conversations that I get to have with all of my clients. We talk about anything and everything and invite you to listen in as we get mic'd up for today's conversation. On this episode, we have Patricia in the chair. Patricia is one of my favorite Irish women, and she has a dilemma that we help talk her through: the struggle of choosing a car for your most precious commodity, her teenager. We hope you enjoy this fun episode. Okay.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you.
We're going to shave your head now. No, just kidding. Now that you've agreed to do this, we're just going to get the clippers and shave it off. No, just kidding. We're not going to do that. Maybe we could, but I won't. I'll be nice.
Good.
Okay, so what brought you here? Why did
What
you?
brought me here?
What is the topic? Because I remember when we were talking about doing this, you were like, "I know what we can talk about," and you were like, "I have topics," and you came today with a list. So
I did come today with a list.
Let's get into it. Let's
Okay.
bang it out. So topic number one.
Okay, Mike.
So worried.
You have a lot of clients, and you're very good at talking to your clients and making them feel comfortable. And your clients are very good at sharing things with you. This one is not therapy or philosophical. It is, I've got really cracked feet, heels specifically, and there are big, deep welts in them. So men don't have that problem a lot because you wear socks and shoes most of the time. But have any of your clients ever told you or said to you, if someone has cracked feet, this is what they should do to heal them?
Men do get that, but not. I mean, I don't.
Even when they wear socks and shoes all the time, they get it?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. I'm sure. I mean,
You're dreaming.
no, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. I'll have to look it up and find out what actually causes it. But my assumption would be is that it's. Well, I mean, my wife is very big on health and everything.
Yes.
Most likely it would be a nutrition failure or something. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to ask her. But I have never had anybody say they've had that problem, like as far as let's talk about it. But I feel like if it is just dry skin, it's got to be something along the lines of just a good body butter of some sort, add moisture back into the foot. You can, I mean, pedicure, get a pedicure, scrub that.
I wish I could
stuff
show
off.
you, but I'm not going to. I'm too conscious. But anyway, I have tried everything under the sun. And to be honest, finding the right lotion is like finding a good husband.
Do you,
Okay? It is so hard to find.
do you have one of those, like I've seen Allie, like again, I'm going off of what I see my wife doing. So
Okay?
have you ever, like those, they're like,
Pumice stones. Pumice stones? Pumice stones? No?
well, it might be a pumice stone, but it almost looks like a sandpaper
Oh, it's horrible. I've tried
thing.
that.
You know, see, and I hate getting my feet touched. Like I am not I will avoid feet. If I go get a massage, I'll tell my massage therapist, like, just know if you touch my feet, I'll most likely kick you because I'm ticklish. I don't. So when it comes to woes of the feet, I avoid it like the plague. I wish I could be more help with it because I feel like I'm sure there's a lot of people that suffer from it, that have it, but
It is suffering.
as far as a solution,
You don't have one?
off the top of my head, lotion
Which
of some
type?
sort. Put some moisture back in there. I mean, I wonder if even like Vaseline or something.
I have used that.
I'm gonna give such bad medical advice right now. People are gonna be like taking notes and being like, hey, I'll try that. But I have no medical expertise.
I actually read yesterday that a lot of health problems comes from the gut, gut bacteria. So I need to find out more about the gut and what on earth you can do if it does relate to cracked feet, because it really hurts to walk.
See, but I'm not gonna. I agree with that. I think that I think a lot of health issues in today's world emulate from what we eat. I think we have a really poor diet in this country. I think that all the food that we're eating, maybe it is, maybe dry skin, cracked heels is a part of something off in the gut, a bacteria. But
oh well, it's something to ask your clients as the
that
weeks
is going
go on.
to be my new. That is going to be my new everyday question now.
Well, yeah, because I want
I'll
an
find
answer. Okay, thank you. Gosh. Well,
But yes, I don't know. Lotion, pumice stone,
I don't like pumice stones in that sandpaper. You can get a rolling thing.
or have your husband just give you foot massage with lotion.
No, I'm like you. Don't come near my feet. Don't come near my feet. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I was going to tell you today I came in our 1997 Camry. So it's got what, about 260,000 miles on it around.
And it's a Camry?
It's a Camry.
Go Toyota.
So it is Go Toyota. We're all Toyota cars. You think we'd have 6? We don't. Anyway, Steve actually got it when he moved to Texas and he needed a car. And he went to a car rental, Hertz, because he thought they're going to look after their cars and they rotate them every 3 years. So that's where he bought it. So we knew that it was in good condition. And then when we moved up here, we found a very good car mechanic. We've been with them ever since. So they've kept the car going really well. So anyway, that car, its air conditioning comes and goes. So it was, about 87 driving over here today? It stank, heat-wise, because Daniel had the Toyota Sienna to go and get me from somewhere air conditioning works. So I thought to myself, why did we give Daniel the Camry? It's got 260,000 miles on it. Its air conditioning comes and goes, but it's still a decent car, except he told me, one of the indicators just went. It doesn't work.
Wait, so you gave your son the better car?
No, just for today.
Oh, just for today? Okay,
Oh,
I was
just,
like,
no.
if it was for permanent, I would be like,
no,
Trish, you need to change that.
No, we decided that Daniel would get the worst car. Well, the one, it's not dangerous, the one with the most mileage on it when you knew the AC wouldn't work a lot.
Yeah.
And I lived in Boston for 9 years, and the car that I had didn't have AC. And I thought if I survived the summers in Boston for 9 years, he can survive here. All right?
True.
So, however, I just read that Utah is the #1 in the country for teenagers having the most accidents in the car.
Did it say why?
Nope.
It just said Utah teenage
Yes.
drivers are the worst.
I think the article I read was just statistics, not reasons. That's a good thing to look up. I will look that up.
I just want to know why. Like, if it's
It's a good question.
is it because they're
Bad drivers. Well, sometimes, teenagers can get too confident. Mm-hmm. And if they've got friends in the car, they may be feeling peer pressure or that they need to show off. I don't know. That's
what is
a good
the rule
question.
now for 16? Like, if you're 16 and you're getting your driver's license, can you immediately drive with your friends?
No, it's 6 months.
6 months.
6 months, you can't take anybody in your car except for family.
Okay.
That's it. And it wouldn't be the 2-year-old little sister, obviously, but anyway. But I was thinking today, we're going to need to get another car because of Maeve.
Yes.
She's about to get her driving test. She's just doing simulators. But she wants to drive the minifan, which we got for practical reasons. They're very practical cars.
Yes.
When Steve's parents were alive, for them to get in and out of, especially with sliding doors. So it's a 2006 minivan. It's a Toyota. Maeve wants to drive it because then she can get all of her friends into the car. So that would be a total of 8 including Maeve as the driver, because it's an 8-seater.
I'm not gonna lie, don't get him a van. If my parents would have gotten me a van, I probably would have been pregnant, or I would have had somebody in the back and gotten them pregnant.
Okay.
So I mean, just food for thought, but just make sure you're stay away from a van for a teenager. Is like, hey, here's a hotel room, just go for it.
I think Maeve would be mortified if I said, this is why you're not getting one, the minifan. Well, she now wants the Beetle. She wants the original Beetle. I said, Maeve, it will fall apart. And they're not making the new one anymore.
The crazy thing, like, we had a van growing up, like a full van. And I used to take that on, like, when I'd go to dances and stuff for high school. And that was the best. It was like, because then you just, after the dance, you'd roll up the canyon.
Mike.
Park, and then you had all this room in the back. It was great.
Okay, that's too much information, young man.
So I'm just saying.
Wow, okay, well, that's food for thought.
Think about it. Okay, but so she wants the van, but
she wants the fan. So Steve is very fortunate that he has a Toyota FJ.
Okay, I don't know what is a Toyota FJ?
It's like the better version of a Jeep. Okay. Much better version. It's very, it's a very compact all-wheel drive, higher up to take hiking, well, not hiking, to go hiking and canyoneering, etc. It's a very, very good. Steve and his brother-in-law, they would always take it down to southern Utah, like to the maze, which has got very intricate, narrow roads and a lot of bumps, big stones to drive over. Okay. So Steve's brother-in-law passed away of cancer in 2014, and he actually bought this FJ off neighbours who were really not doing well. He lost his job, etc., needed money. So Eric went over and said, hey, if you ever want to sell the FJ, I'm really interested in buying it from you. 2 weeks later, those neighbours came over and said, were you serious about that? Because we would like to sell it. So I thought that was really very kind of Eric to do that. So he and Steve would use it all the time. When Eric knew he was going to pass away, a lot of people said, Eric will buy the FJ off you. And Eric said, no, I want to give it to my brother-in-law, Stephen, because there's a lot of good memories that we had in that together. So that's how we got the FJ. But I feel almost obliged to tell people this is how we got it, because they're not cheap. Mm-hmm. They're expensive. And I feel too conscious, these people have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which,
I get that.
So anyway, I hate driving the FJ because I can't see over the bonnet. What you call it here? The hood.
Over the hood?
Yeah, the bonnet. I can't see over it.
Okay.
Okay. And also, if you have anything in the back, like camping stuff, anything, you can't see out of the rear view mirror. So I'm having heart attacks driving it. So I won't drive it in towns or the city or anything. But I thought about, Daniel's got the 260,000 miles 1970 Toyota Camry. We're driving it into the ground. Maeve may be getting the minifan, but is it not safer to give them a newer car? Like, we're going to buy a used car, but probably 2018 and up, like with rear view, whatever you call them, cameras, etc.
Yeah.
Or are those cars too new that if they do get in an accident and it's totaled, we're out of a lot of money? But is it safer to give for your child to give them that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I remember when my parents bought our first car for us. Uh-huh. But it was the first car I ever got was a 1978. That was the year I was born. 1978 Mazda 626. It had one speaker that worked. It was horrible. The only cool part about it, and the thing all my friends loved, was it had a sunroof. So if we were driving, like, we'd go drive down by the Movies 8, and search for the ladies or whatever. We would
To take them in your van to go up the
take them home
canyon.
and show them the van.
Yeah.
No, but like the only thing that was great about that was that it had the sunroof. So my buddies would lean out the sunroof and holler and hoot and whatever. But my parents always told us, they said, if you guys want a better car, go get a job and you can pay for it. It's one of those things where I don't know, and maybe the stipulations have changed, but I don't necessarily think parents have to get their kids a car. They can do it to be nice if they want, but my parents got me a piece of crap and then said it'll get you from point A to point B. It's
Well, that's what the Camry is.
yeah. So, I mean, honestly, whether it's a safe car or whether it's a piece of crap, it's what do they call it? User error. It's the person driving it that's going to cause the problem. Or I mean, I guess it could. If you're worried about them getting into an accident or something, I don't know. It's a tough one. Like for Remy, for our oldest daughter, when she turns 16, our plan is to just hand down the truck that we have. And I mean, it's safe, I guess, but it's, new cars are always going to have something, but if it's not in the budget, don't go buy a new one. Just give them something that works, though, and teach them how to drive safe. Teach them how to be alert. Teach them how to, even when you like go get I got my motorcycle license, and one of the things they say is like motorcycle drivers are some of the safest on the road.
Yep.
It's the other people around that aren't paying attention. So you have to pay attention. So if you teach your kids, this is how you drive safe, and they actually listen and learn, then I think they'll be fine regardless of what the car is. So I don't feel like you need to go out and get anything that's really safe.
Even a rear view mirror?
I mean,
Or not mirror, you'll come with that. A rear view camera. Excuse me,
No.
camera.
I mean, how many years did we back up cars?
I know. Well, I agree.
And
I
think-
agree with that.
I think some of the some are getting lazy. It's funny. I still remember when I got my car that had the first, when it had the rear view thing. I still turn around to watch myself back out. I don't use it, but that's me. Like I think.
Well, I would do the same. I would do the
And I
same.
think in the user manuals they even say make sure that you
Double check.
and check your surroundings. Don't just rely solely on what's there, because you might see somebody coming from the side or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about teaching.
Yeah.
Make sure they're safe driver. And I don't know, you could always threaten and say, look, this is your car. If you wreck it,
That's your problem.
that's your problem. That's not mine. I
Yeah.
hope you're safe.
Yeah.
And I hope you learn how to drive safe. But if you don't, that's
Well,
it.
We do have to get a fourth car, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, I think, to get a fourth car. But because we live in such a car culture in the state of Utah, we have to have a fourth car. So Steve and I have been talking about we're not going to buy new, I told you that. We're going to get used car. But I don't know what to get. But as we get older, we don't want a Camry where you're always going to go down to get into the car and up to get out of it. So we're looking at a small SUV. So what you call them, the Hyundais. It's not the Santa Fe. It's the Tucson is what it's called. And 2016, 2017, because we both like to do our research, they had a lot of problems. So for a used car, the 2018 Hyundai Tucson is one of the best because they fixed a lot of the problems and they haven't had to fix them again. So that's what we're looking at, is that. But it is that bit higher than a car.
See, I always thought, because Maeve is 17?
She's 17.
So I would say, after I got rid of that 1978 Mazda, like I had to get my own car, and I really looked. I think I was 18 at the time.
Uh-huh.
I looked for a car that had, I know this sounds really stupid, but I found a car that had a really tiny back seat because I knew that if I had that, all of my friends wouldn't want me to drive them around in it. And therefore, I was not usually the driver.
Yeah.
Unless there was only two of us going somewhere. I think now, like, if you're the driver, I mean, again, another reason not to get a van, how many people can you fit in a van?
Well, that's me if it's an 8-seater van.
And
we
the
could take
more-
all the seats out.
Yeah, the more people that are in there, the more likely there's distractions, the more
Yeah.
likely they're going to have, I don't know.
Well, maybe we should get a used car for her because our plan has always been to drive that Sienna until it just can't go anymore. And we've looked after it. Like, we'll do all of the oil changes, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a good point. Maybe she'll go mad. But that's okay.
But you can just tell her, say, Mike says the van is off limits.
Okay.
the van is not safe
I won't
for,
tell her the reason
for
why.
multiple reasons. Just make up a story and say, Mike got
Okay.
somebody pregnant once. No, just kidding that because that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Getting a car for a kid is a hard thing because it's your most precious
Yeah.
cargo. But at the same time, it's not.
You don't want
Yeah.
to give them the distractions that could be there.
Yeah.
You want to limit those distractions.
And honestly, I think it all started. It's like anything. It's like if you're going to let your kid fire a gun, you have to go through gun safety first. If you're going to let them drive a car, they need to go through car safety first. And it is just like, okay, we absolutely do not text and drive. We absolutely do not, use the phone while we're driving. Like, it's just, there's so many things that.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'm just thinking with the new cars, with the screens that they have to change the radio, to do GPS, etc. I do not like those screens. Our Sienna, as a 2006, doesn't have it. But I've been in friends' cars, and to me, they're very distracting. And I think a teenager who hasn't got a lot of experience in driving yet, they could look over because all of their experience is in screens.
See, I don't even know if me and my wife, we've talked about this before. And honestly, I don't even know if they make them anymore, but I think the best car you could get a kid is a stick shift.
I was just about to say that.
Do they make those? I don't even know if they make them
I don't
anymore.
know, but to me, it should be a requirement. When you're getting your license, you have to do stick shift. Then you can go automatic. I feel I've more control with the stick shift of the car than I do automatic.
I still remember learning a stick shift and on the hill, like
the hill
stopping you on the hill and being like,
Yeah.
all right, you're going to stall it and then start it back up. And
Without rolling back.
I think I pooped my pants. There's something going on that one.
But it's a good skill because it's a good skill.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that, and on it, like even little thing. Like I know there's trucks and stuff now that do all the backing of a trailer and stuff for you. Learning to back a trailer, it was just trial and error.
Well, even parallel parking can be trial and error. Because if you have a stick shift, you had to change with
But I think all of
reverse
those
black.
things, I think kids need to learn. But I know they're making cars that they can do it for you, but I still feel like learn how to do it. Just in case that car is never, what if those, I have a buddy that's a mechanic and he says, honestly, the more electrical components you get, the more problems you're going to have with a car. I don't know. It's one of those things even though it can do it for you, doesn't mean you shouldn't still learn how to do it. But I think all of it starts with just teaching safe driving.
Well, kind of a sidebar from that, and I thought this was very funny. It was a meme where a lot of kids aren't learning cursive in school, elementary school or anything anymore. Like, I work at an elementary school doing reading tutoring, but the kids, first graders, they want to write their name in cursive. They're dying to do it. But the meme was where teenagers were saying to their parents, well, you don't know this, you don't understand. I'll do it for you because it's just too hard to learn. And then the parents were saying to other parents, if we ever want to take over the world, we should just write all our plans in cursive. They won't be able to read it. I thought that was very good. So again, it's like stick shift. Learn to write and read in cursive.
Yeah, learn. I mean, and it's one of those things. You got to learn. I mean, learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
I had somebody who used to want to get a tattoo that just said "student for life." You should always be learning, even if
Yeah,
it's the
that's very
simple
good.
little mundane things. I'm glad I know how to parallel park,
Oh, yes.
and I'm a wizard at it now.
Oh, are you? Very good. But that's because you're a wizard. That's because of the steering wheel. And you can only have that if it's automatic.
It's because I messed up a few times and I learned how not to mess up. But I don't know. As far as which car to get them something that runs, get them something that's reliable. But
Yeah, I think you're right with me. If we should get her a used car
it doesn't need to be
that
anything
doesn't
fancy.
take a lot of people in it.
Unless
and
you
then-
want grandbabies, then get a van.
No, not yet. And she and Daniel can trade off between the Camry and whatever we get them.
See, that's honestly my parents. Well, my parents bought a truck first for my older brother, and then he wrecked that truck driving on a gravel road, flipped it. But then they got a car, and we just shared it.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, well, if I need it, you'd basically have a calendar and say, I'm going here. I need the car.
Well, it's for school because Daniel's going to UVU and then Maeve's at Timview High, which she could walk to.
Or electric scooter too. Although in the winter it might not be so fun, but yeah, I think I don't know.
You see, I never had a car when I was a teenager, young adult, because we had buses and trains, and that's all I used. You know, public transport back home is brilliant. But in America, not yet. Well, not here.
Okay, so did I help solve the car dilemma? I hope.
You did. We're not. Are we filming still?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
This-
Yes, you
we're
did.
still
You did.
going.
Excuse me. I think I had it stuck in my head that Steve and I should get a car that we could drive and use until it dies while we get older. And the most important thing was to get a car that we can get in and out of comfortably. And we can do that with a minifan still. Like my friends say to me, you're not embarrassed driving a minifan? And I will say, no, it's a very practical thing to have, and it gets me from A to B. I'm good with it. But I think to get, as you said, to think about getting a car where Maeve cannot take 7 friends in, because that's when distractions can happen. That's a very good point to make.
See, but here's the other thing. I do believe that a parent, again, I don't think a parent has to buy their kids a car, but there is a benefit when the parent does buy the car, because they can say, this is my car, I bought it, and if you act out of line, I'm going to take it away from you.
That's true.
Which is what my parents
Did.
You know, we still had to pay for gas,
Yeah.
like, because that's what we used.
Yeah.
But if we were ever, like, that was a punishment. If you acted out of line or didn't do what you were supposed to, and your mom and, you know, they said, do this, and you didn't, if you weren't home at a right curfew, oh, guess what? You lose the car tomorrow, or you lose the car for the week.
No, that's a
And-
good point.
But if they buy the car, that's theirs.
They'll look after
You
it more.
can't say, well, you are going to lose the car. So there is a benefit. But again, if it's not within your budget, like my parents didn't have a huge budget, or they were just like, we don't care, we're getting the boys a piece of crap car. But they got us something, and they said, you want something nicer? Go get it yourself.
No, that's a very good point. Like, we just got Maeve a debit card, but she puts all of her savings and money into it herself. And it was a friend's birthday, and she wanted to get her a book at Barnes & Noble. I said, look on Amazon, even though I want to support Barnes & Noble because I don't want Amazon to take over the world.
Yeah.
But,
They already have.
well,
Just-
Barnes & Noble needs to stay as a brick structure with books in it. But anyway, Maeve said the book's $25. And I said, well, you're using your own money to get it. Now you've got your debit card. Well, I'm not going to use my money. That's too much money, $25. I said, well, why are you buying her that book in the first place if it costs $25? Think of something maybe $10 or $15. Well, you've bought birthday presents before for me. I said, yeah, but we told you when you got your debit card, you put your savings into it, you will be buying your friends their own birthday presents. Well, you knew that having a child will cost money, and you chose to have me, so you need to buy this birthday present. I said, that argument that's nothing. That's absolute rubbish. If you want to get your friend a $25 book, you're paying for it. She hasn't got her the book. Her friend's birthday is this coming week, and we'll see if she gets it for her. But I don't think we should. And we did tell her, you've got your own debit card. You will learn financial responsibility. That includes buying Christmas or birthday presents for your friends. So she can choose something cheaper.
Well, and I feel like it's kind of weird, but I mean, I guess if they're, I wonder if her love language is gifts, because I feel like my oldest, her love language is giving gifts. Like, she loves giving gifts.
That's mine.
So when she goes to birthdays, she wants to get them the nicest and the biggest gift, and we're like, you have a limit of what you can spend. Like, but.
And we did have a limit for Maeve before she got her debit card. And it wasn't $25, it was less.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because my love language is gifts then. That's what I've always done. What other love languages are there?
But what's that?
What other love languages are there?
There's gifts, there's physical touch, time. Like, I can't remember it's like quality time, physical attention, gifts, and there's one other, I think. What is it? Words of affirmation.
I've never heard of this.
But yeah, everybody has different love, and maybe there's, again, and I don't know what the parameters are of what would make somebody, but if I watch Remy try, like, she always wants to give people gifts, like, and it's really important to her to get them. But I'm like, you don't have to spend money on a gift either. You can do, like, I can't remember what it was recently. She had this friend that she wanted to give something to, but she was, she didn't have money for it. We're like, look, if that's something you want, it was end of school year. The end of the school year, she wanted to give all of her friends a gift. And I'm like,
wow.
If you want to spend the money on it, and I'm like, honestly, write your friends a note saying how much you appreciate them. And
like a yearbook
they'd probably love it even more.
Does your school have a yearbook?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have time to write. Like, get an actual card and write a note. Like, honestly, I mean, how many kids at that age are getting notes from their friends saying, hey, I really appreciate how you've been my friend. Or, I really appreciate.
No, I did as Miss Trish at the elementary school. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, so, and again, maybe just tell me, like, I know you want to get her the book and she'd probably really love it. Why don't instead you spend the money that you have, get a gift card for it, and then write a note telling her how much you value her and say, use this towards this book that I think you would really enjoy.
And it's nice to use it toward the book.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking this would be a great thing to help you get there. And again, I think most people don't necessarily care whether you spend a lot of money or not. It's
the thought.
It's the thought that counts. There might be a few that are like, nope, you got to get me the most expensive, whatever. I mean, there was a girl when I was in hair school that she always said that the man that she marries, if he gives her anything less than a 2-carat ring, she would say no. And I'm like, oh.
Good luck.
Don't marry that one. No, just kidding. She was nice. But,
No, that's a good suggestion. I'll tell her that.
Because you can still give them a gift and suggest, this is what I'd really like to get you, but if it's not in the finances, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's like if I wasn't there to ask to buy the present, she wouldn't be able to do it because, well, she wouldn't do it because she doesn't want to spend her money.
Yeah. But honestly, and truly, like, even if she gave her a book and even if she wrote a note that said, I thought of you when I got this book, I thought of you, like, whatever the note might say, I would wager that the note would probably be of more value
than the actual
than the actual gift itself. And I mean, you can get into, like, you know, when people start thinking about Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate and you get gifts for that, most people can't even remember 2 years ago what they got for a gift.
That's true.
But what they remember is who they were with, what they were doing. They remember the thoughts and the experience that they had more so than they remember the gift.
That's
But
true.
In her case, she's worried more about the physical thing, not so much the emotional. And the emotional is the one that has the staying power.
Because you would even keep Christmas cards from people who have written something in it that's very meaningful. Because I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's more meaningful. So I would express that to Maeve and just say, hey, I know you want to get the gift. The gift's a lot of money. Here's truly something that will probably be worth more to your friend at this point. And at 17, they're not going to be like, well, you only spent $10 on a gift card or $15 a gift card. They don't care.
Well, you brought up something. What Maeve said was, well, you know, she spent about $25 in her present to me. And I said, but that's okay. She doesn't need to know how much it is. Like, fair enough, a book, it's easy to know how much it is because you can look it up, even if you cut off the wee price tag. But I said, you don't have to return, you know, penny for penny. So it doesn't have to be $25.
Yeah. And it really doesn't. The gifts, I think a lot of times people overthink gifts. I don't know. This is kind of a funny thing. I've always thought it was, when it comes to gift giving, don't think any less of me for this, but I always thought that women had a better advantage for gifts giving than men did. Because let's say it was Allie and I's anniversary or something like that. If I forgot the anniversary, I would be in really bad shape. Because I can't come up with a gift really quick. Where if Allie forgot the anniversary and I walked in and was like, you forgot the anniversary, she'd be like, no, here's your gift. If I did that, I was like, I didn't forget, here's your gift. She'd be like, go get me a gift. Like, go get me something. That's not
fair.
So I always thought that, you know, she always had more of an advantage because she could forget my birthday. She could forget a lot of things and just say, oh, no, this is, hello.
I never thought of that.
It's true.
You obviously have.
Well, I think
How many anniversaries have you forgotten?
None yet. But I do know, like, I learned never to forget your anniversary. I remember one time my dad forgot my mom's anniversary, and I will never forget the look on my mom's face when she realized that he forgot it, because we had come home from grocery shopping or something, and at the time we lived in a split level house. And we came in from the garage, we're coming up the stairs. My dad was coming down, and my mom had said something like, so what are we gonna do tonight? Because it was the anniversary.
Yeah.
And he goes, do tonight for what? And
was she mad or sad?
I think it was every emotion that you could think. There was anger, there was sadness. And then when he realized it, it's that oh shit moment. You're like, I remember that very, very well.
So you are motivated never to forget.
I have anniversaries, birthdays in my phone. They go off when it's time. I will never, well, I knock on wood, I will never forget an anniversary.
Well, talking about the girl that wanted the 2-carat diamond, I'm assuming. Steve and I didn't get married until our 30s. And just practical again, I didn't want an engagement ring because I thought, I'm not going to wear it. Because if it is a diamond, even, sticking up a bit, it's going to get caught in things. So I will wear it less often than whatever the term is. But anyway, so I said no, and I said, we'll save money anyway. So we agreed not to get a engagement ring, and my friends were appalled. This is when we lived in Boston, just appalled. Said, did he get down on his knees? I said, no. Why should he get down on his knees to ask me to marry him? He actually said, I think we should get married because I feel it's too presumptuous for me to say, Trish, will you marry me? So it was, let's get married. Anyway, we both agreed no engagement ring, but Mr. Steve wanted to surprise me. But it worked out to his advantage. The man loves to play golf. So he got me a full set of golf clubs with a bag made to size so we could do things together as a married couple. So that's what I got instead of an engagement ring.
Oh, that's great though. And do you still have them?
Yep, still have them.
Still use them?
Occasionally here, probably, as the kids get older, like they both have had golf clubs as well. But when at home going to school in Ireland, I played, you call it field hockey here. Mm-hmm. They play it more back east than out in the west. I played for 7 years at school. And for girls, when you going to hit the ball, you can't do what's called sticks. You can't raise the stick above your elbow.
Okay.
You have to hit it. So I just automatically stop with the golf swing at my elbow. It's so ingrained in my brain. It's just hard to keep the golf, swing coming up. But that's okay. It's practice and more practice and more. But when we were first married and didn't have kids, yes, we played all the time.
Did he ever get you a ring?
No, I didn't want one. I still don't
want
one. No.
See, but even after, because how long have you been married now?
August, it will be 22 years.
But never wanted to have anything?
No, I have a wedding ring.
Well,
Why?
Just an extra
Look,
bit. I don't know.
what's the the thing? A man, well, I guess in Sweden and Scandinavian countries, I know the man gets an engagement ring as well as the woman.
Yeah.
I don't know what other countries do that.
Well, I've seen it where they get the engagement ring and then they can they bind
flatten it.
Well, they just bind the two together when you get the actual wedding ring and that.
Well, maybe one day, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm not saying you should.
Your face looks so surprised.
Well, I was
your expression on your face looks so surprised.
Well, it's just that's one of those things. Again, this is the normalcy of.
But
people think that just because everybody else is doing it, you should do it too. But no, if that's
to me, it's just not like when I worked at I work at an elementary school, and during COVID year, our kids, the kids, we were open for school, but we had to disinfect everything. So I worked in kindergarten that whole year, and we had morning kindergarten. When they left, I had to wipe all the tables and the chairs down, and then the same afternoon kindergarten left. I didn't wear my wedding ring then because I thought, I don't want disinfectant all over my ring. So now, just out of habit, I forget to put it on. Like it's funny at school, the first graders, second graders, are you married, Miss Trish? Yes, I am. Well, you don't wear your wedding ring. Oh, I forgot to put it on. But wedding rings I like, but why an engagement ring? Like,
you know,
you're
I
a
don't
man.
know.
Why?
I'm just going off of what they tell me. Like, you
Who's
need to,
they?
the lady. Like, you need to have a ring to propose. But again,
Here's
it
a
makes me
Scotty.
think. I could have honestly probably gotten Allie an espresso maker, and been like, "Will you marry me?" And she would have been
Been
like,
very happy.
"Sold."
See. So have you done it out of tradition?
Yeah.
Out of.
Yeah, just because that's what.
But were you scared of Ali saying no because you didn't get her an engagement ring?
Well, yeah, I was terrified because. Well, here's the thing. Now, couples will just go and ring shop together.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a common thing. Like, oh, we're talking about getting married, so let's go look at rings. I want to show you exactly what I want. I didn't do that with Al.
I'm impressed.
I would ask sneaky questions to try to find out what is she like. Mm-hmm. And like, I knew definitely don't get yellow gold. Like, I knew that was off the table.
We did that too.
I knew
No
she
yellow
wanted
gold.
simple. I knew when you're dating and it's like you ask these questions, you're like, what kind of cut do you like? Like, you know, I knew it was, no, I can't even remember what the kind is cut. Is it princess cut? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I don't know diamonds very well, but I knew what cut she wanted, and I knew like the cut, but I went and picked out one based on my budget. I can't tell, I've had so many people sit in this chair and tell me they went ring shopping and the ring that the bride wanted was way over the groom's budget.
See, they didn't discuss that.
No, that's the one
They
I
just
want.
want the
and
ring.
then the groom feels like, well, I got to get the one she wants.
So you go into debt.
So you go into debt, you do all this.
I was very practical.
Well, and that's fantastic. Like, I wish more people would do that. But like, going by myself and finding the ring, it was like, I knew what my budget was. I knew what I could afford, and that's what she's going to get. So unless she was that girl at hair school that wanted something more than a 2 carat, I knew the chances were pretty good. I felt pretty good about it. I was like 99% sure, but there's always that what if. I don't know. I mean, and for Steve, for your husband, like, if you said no, hey, he's got an extra set of golf clubs.
For another 5-foot woman. Now, you remember you're doing the
just
jaggedy.
point cut into it. Oh, yeah.
That's what you call them.
Let's do this.
Well,
But,
there you go. You see, well, like there's some, I'm not against tradition by any means at all. But I just knew I wasn't going to wear it. And I also know I've got a champagne taste with a beer income. So if we did get one, Steve may be one of those ones but we don't have the money for that.
Yep.
And Steve would have gone himself and got one. He wouldn't have asked me, just like you and Alec.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how it used to be. That was tradition. Like, I did. Now, did he ask parents' permission? Like, did he go? See, I went to Allie's dad to ask permission.
My dad was in Northern Ireland. Would he fly home?
Yeah,
No,
you catch a
he
flight.
didn't.
No, just kidding. Yeah, or you can call him and be like. But I was again very traditional. Like,
I think my parents were just glad I was getting married since I was in my 30s. It wouldn't have mattered.
I needed the father's permission, traditional.
Well, that's good. I like your tradition.
But
Okay, here's another thing.
okay.
Do you open the car door for Ellie?
I used to, but since we've had kids, it's just get the kids in the car. And like, if we go out on dates, I will open the car door for her. Like, if we're out on a day, or I always, like, if we're walking into a business or something, like, it's chivalry, open the door. But
I like it going into a shop, movies, business or something. But I can't stand it. I would not let Steve open the car door for me.
Well, you know.
I thought, I'm perfectly capable. You do not need to do this.
You know why we open the door, like, right? The
No,
car
I
door?
don't know.
I'm gonna give
So
you a
you
little
can't
secret.
get out?
No. So, like, So when you're dating, there's 2 things that people fear when they're dating. One is, are we gonna kiss? Like, if it's first date, you're like, I wonder are we gonna kiss? I don't know. Like, and 2 is, passing gas. So those are the two anxieties that come with stress with dating.
So you've got time as you walk around to the other side?
I learned this. Somebody taught me this. They said,
Oh,
what you
gosh.
do, you close the door. Like, so you go to the
Yep,
car door,
yep.
you close the door, and as soon as that door closes, you let it rip. Then there's
that
all this.
true?
There's
Is that
all this
true?
strategy. I'm telling you, if
Oh.
I've asked girls about this, and I'm like, they're like, oh, I wondered why it took so long to walk around the car.
Oh my goodness.
But as soon as you do, and this is so dumb, like this is what guys think about. This is stupid. But close the door, rip it, turn.
Oh, dear.
Cuts off the trail. Then you walk to the back of the car, turn again, the other turn again, and then by the time you get in the car, you're good
fine.
to go. So dumb.
What I've learned today is open the car door for a date or your wife,
Yep.
and then let it rip, walk around, and you're good to go.
I'm just saying.
I've also learned if you forget your wife's anniversary, you can't say, well, what's this? I've learned many things about
can't.
men today.
Yeah, I'm giving you a real insight into guys'
Well, you
life.
see, Steve and I met in Boston, and I needed to have a car for work because I traveled with my job, and when it was in New England, I just drove. Steve didn't have a car because he didn't need it because there's public transport. So when I went to get him, it would be me driving. So it would have been weird for him to open the car for me, I think.
Yeah. Well, if you're driving, no. If Allie's driving, no,
Do you see?
I don't open the door for her.
But
Like,
I do think I'm perfectly capable, too.
shoot, if she's driving, should she open the door for me?
Well, you'd see, that's where you get, is it hypocritical
Yeah. Well,
that
it's,
way?
equal rights. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like,
That's why you never open the car door for either. You've got equal rights.
but no, I mean, dating, like, yes, as soon as we had kids and it was like you had the car seats, you had all that stuff, like, there's no time. Like,
No.
let's think practically.
See?
But if we go out on a date, it's like a sign of respect. It's a sign of, like,
Except when she's driving.
yeah. I mean, she's driving, but I drive most of the time, if we're being honest.
You
but-
see, I'm a backseat driver, which is bad. So Steve will say, like, say we're going up to see his sisters in Kaysville. Will you drive? I go, no, I don't want to. You're driving. Oh, that's right. Yes, I'll drive. Because it's backseat drivers. It's not good to have backseat drivers in the car. Because I will say, if there's an exit here, I'm moving over to get into the exit about 2 miles back. And Steve moves over about 2 minutes before you need to get off the exit onto the, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and I'm just going, do it. This is when I feel I'm going home like the Addams Family when you do that.
with the webs.
Yeah.
All right, so we're almost done, but let's ask. I'm gonna go one more. We got one more question
Oh, we do?
that I'm gonna ask you, and we'll do a would you rather, or yeah, would you rather? Because earlier we were talking about the difficulties of driving when you're short.
Oh.
So would you rather be 10 foot tall and be way past like the
You
normal?
wouldn't be able to. Okay,
Well, I
go
know.
ahead.
So would you rather be 10 feet tall or 3 feet shorter?
3 feet shorter than what I am now. I would only be 2 feet.
No.
That's cheeky.
So which would you rather be? You got to pick one.
Can I pick two situations where I could be one, and then the other situation I could be the other?
No, just one or the other. Would you rather have the difficulties of being vertically challenged one way or vertically challenged the other way?
I'm going to say 10 feet tall.
Why?
My reason is I'm perfectly aware, have fantastic, painful knowledge of what it's like to be short. I don't need to be 2 feet tall for that to be reinforced, or 3 feet shorter than 5 feet.
Okay.
10 feet, that vertical challenge, I'm sure there's a lot, like you have to bend over to get through doors. but I would like to experience 10 feet tall. Or people may respect me because I'm tall rather than short. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
well,
welcome.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sitting through and telling
was
us
fun.
all about everything.
You're very welcome, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for the conversations.
You're very
You're welcome.